You pull out your phone and let me know how many games will the Bucks and Celtics series go. Pull out your phone, scan the QR device.
Kind of things we drilling and film that set up some of the two-man games, up fakes, other things you saw there.
Just what we saw. We could have done better in game one. As I mentioned, shooting 53s. It's one thing, but a lot of them were contested, so we knew we had opportunities to drive closeouts and touch the paint a few times, and we knew if we did that, their defense would dissipate and we get the looks we wanted. And so that was the point of emphasis going into it, and I loved our aggressiveness and touching the paint, attacking, kicking out, and trying to get the right shots, and that was evident in the first half.
Second half a little more stagnant. What did you see after halftime there, especially in that third quarter?
Yeah, it felt like we had really good shots that we were missing. Some of our passes weren't as crisp. We drew up some plays, had some sets that we ran, and would have had the right looks, but balls got tipped or they're a little off target, so they took us off our spots a little bit. But like the looks we were getting, it just happened to miss some. I think there was a little bit of a lull in the game at times with, I don't know if it was all the replays and and the reviews and all that, but credit them. They upped their intensity a little bit. They made an adjustment in the second half, not closing out as hard, and we adjusted that and kind of got it back in the fourth quarter.
You may more than match the physicality of Milwaukee, especially in that first half. Was that a point of emphasis as well over the last couple of days?
Yeah, that was the thing that we really talked about in game one, where we've been a bigger physical team all year and didn't love how we didn't react to them being physical, picking up full court and some of those things, and took us out of our sets. So we adjusted well. We learned some things from game one, and it felt like we knew we didn't react accordingly to the way they were playing. And so two big teams, but we haven't kind of been out-muscled like that all year, and I think our guys took pride in that, took that to heart, and we knew we would come out with the right effort tonight.
How important were those mid-ranges to start the first quarter, especially Jalen getting three of those to fall? Yeah,
that was another point. They obviously want to protect the paint. We shoot over 30% of our shots from mid-range, and on the season only took 17% in game one. So we knew those were open. You don't have to over-penetrate and drive into the bigs or take the three only. We have two really elite mid-range shooters, and we welcome those shots, especially when they're back in that drop. So talked to Jalen and Jason specifically about that. We wanted to set better screens and free them up, and we knew we'd have those looks, and they knocked them down.
Jalen kind of had a rough game one, a lot of turnovers, inefficient shooting. What do you think were the keys for him bouncing back from that? And then how eager did you think he was to kind of respond after that performance?
Yeah, his pride, we knew he didn't have his best game. Marcus, Jason as well. Like I said, we were a little off kilter offensively for sure with them picking us up. So just to be aggressive, free up some things. We saw some things on film that we knew we could free up and get these guys good looks. First part being setting our guy up, kind of taking away their ball pressure, and then really setting screens and holding them tonight. We slipped out of way too many, and guys were in their rear view contesting, and so we didn't get the clean looks that we wanted last game. But for Jalen, he's a guy that's always going to bounce back and play well. He's traditionally done that when he's had a bad game, and so we expected that from him and Jason tonight.
You stuck with the seven-man rotation without Smart there. Was that the plan going in? Was that more gut feel by you? And also, going to Grant very early in the first quarter there, obviously he gave you guys a huge game there. What did you see out of him on both ends?
I didn't hear the first part. Without who?
Without Smart. You guys went to the seven-man rotation.
Yeah, Daniel played a few minutes last game, and it was more so who they have in the game, rotation-wise, and what lineups we like, so we didn't go to that tonight. Flipped Grant to the three, so we took some of those minutes that Marcus was there, and obviously paid Peyton and Derek a lot more, but went to a bigger lineup. But really spun those three bigs instead of kind of going to Tice tonight. And more so than anything, Derek and Peyton, we understand what they're going to do for us on the defensive end. We don't lose a lot as far as that. It's hard to say with Marcus being Defensive Player of the Year, but we don't lose anything schematically or coverage-wise with Derek and his size and versatility. So we went to a shorter rotation as far as that. Knew we had these 3 days off coming up and could play guys a little heavier minutes.
Two things. First off, how was Jalen's hammy? And was him coming out the end, was that just a strategic thing on Giannis at the rim, or was that his hammy?
Yeah, he's obviously, it may tighten up during games. He's playing heavy minutes, and really at the end of the game, we really wanted to get him out. He only sat out 2:45 of the third quarter, and then we brought him back in to start the quarter, and he ran that 9-minute stretch there. So being that we're up, in the 16-18 range, we wanted to get him out. And we had a lot of stoppages, so we could run them a little longer due to the timeouts and due to the reviews, and more so than anything was just getting them out because he ran a heavy amount in the second half.
And you said you had made adjustments to the way they were closing you out in the second half. It seemed like a lot of the time when you would drive, you would then have someone relocate behind them, whether it was Al or Tatum. Was that the adjustment you guys were making?
Yeah, part of it, as I mentioned, multiple penetration. We wanted to get to the paint as much as we can. Take the floater runner. We missed a lot of drop-offs and kickouts last game, and so that was a big part of it, not just settling for the contested three, but attacking certain guys closing out on the perimeter. We felt we let them off the hook, so to speak, with Lopez and some of those guys closing out hard, and tonight it was different as far as attacking there. We got much easier shots, but yeah, that was a big point going into it.
Ime, could you sense right after the game that that game one, the way your team was going to come out in this one? Did you feel it over the course of 24 to 48 hours right before the game, the way that they started?
Yeah, I would say so. I think, when you look at our record and who we've been over the last few months, haven't lost 2 games in a row in a while, or even struggled the way we did offensively in that game. And so, we talked about it, and it was very evident on tape, the things that we kind of let them get away with. And physicality was one part of that. Maybe the Brooklyn series not being as physical or defensive-minded team caught us off guard a little bit, but we looked at it and we talked about being 32-8 in the last 40 and not losing 2 games in a row, coming back with the proper effort off of losses, and we expected our guys to respond like they did tonight.
It seemed like Grant was frustrating Giannis early, and then made some shots of his own. How much of a lift does him contributing that much give you guys in a situation like that?
Yeah, it's huge. We talked about guarding him a little bit more one-on-one. We feel like we have the defensive guys to do it. Obviously, he came out extra aggressive in the second half, but to score 28 on 27 shots, we were defending well initially. And Grant's a big part of that. His versatility, as I talk about, he's like the mini Al out there. We ask him to do the same things, and other guys are making plays. So his shot making ability, obviously, he's been doing that all year. But his versatility to be able to switch on to guards and guard him one-on-one in the post, and to your point, be physical and frustrate him to some extent, is what we need with a player like that. And so we got 4 guys we feel comfortable throwing at him. Jalen, Jason, bigger wings as well, so we can throw a lot of bodies, and that's one of Grant's main strengths is guarding guys like that, him and Al.
You mentioned a few times about the toughness and physicality. When you're watching, what are like the indicators to you that that's what's taking place, that the kind of the message received and that level of physicality has been increased?
Yeah, guarding the way we have been all year, and even in game 1, we felt we were okay in the half court, but we're just sloppy, and turnovers, transition that we gave up kind of helped them as far as that. So we knew we could be good again in the half court. It was more so good offense and taking care of the ball, but offensively, I think us getting downhill, attacking a little bit more. The point is they have good rim protectors and they, crowd the paint, but it's not Will Chamberlain out there as guys we can get downhill and attack, and we got guys that can finish, and so. Still missed a few dump-offs to Rob tonight, a few dump-offs to Al as well, but obviously much better getting downhill and attacking Lopez tonight.
Ime, in terms of the fast start, I guess, what do you think that kind of did just for the team? Obviously with Marcus out losing game 1 and coming out, I think it was like 15-3 when they took a timeout and everything.
I didn't hear the first one, I'm sorry.
Just the fast start, what do you think?
Oh, fast start, yeah. Got us back on the right foot. We didn't love the way we came out last game, just in general, on both ends of the floor, and felt we could obviously play much better. And, wanted to match our physicality and, I guess punch back first tonight. We talked about getting caught off guard a little bit and getting punched in the mouth last game. And big message was to show them who we are and who we've been all year and respond to losses in a certain way, and we did that.
What were those film sessions like over the last couple of days? Was they reacting with as much shock and disappointment as you were? Were you jumping them a little bit? What was it like when you were looking at the plays that they didn't make?
It was more optimistic than anything, honestly, because we did guard well initially. And, we're holding them to 9 to 20 for 25 last game and 28 points on 27 shots tonight. So we know we have the bodies to do it. I think some of our rotations weren't as sharp, or our double teaming unnecessarily with certain personnel on them. So we were optimistic we could duplicate that, and then offensively we knew we could be night and day better as far as that, and getting out in transition, just the ball movement, not settling for as many threes and attacking the paint. So guys saw it was pretty evident. Some of the open passes we missed, Rob is a lob threat, and we missed him at the rim several times to kind of loosen up Lopez and those guys. And so we all felt good about where we would be if we came out with the proper mindset and respect level, and kind of did that tonight. Thank you.
Ime Udoka after